We've got four great sessions in the run-up to the Global Jet Capital cocktail. Just one really important housekeeping note. We've got a couple of people with serious nut allergies, so please, if you could avoid bringing nuts into the conference and eating them, that would be really grateful. Lee, we'd be very grateful for that. I feel like we're on an aircraft now. So we're now absolutely delighted to have Vincent Rongier from Jet Aviation, one of the most global operators in the world. Vincent runs EMEA, but not Asia.
EMEA, yeah, for Africa, not for Asia.
And Middle East. You have Europe, Middle East.
Europe, Middle East, and Africa.
But if we have any questions on Asia, we also have David Best in the room, if anyone wants to grab him afterwards. So you've got a big region. How is business? How are the different regions competing with each other?
So yeah, the region is quite large. So we have a different dynamic going on in the business. So when we look at the number and we look at 2019, which is a bit our reference, pre-COVID. So we see that, for example, the Middle East is going very strong. We have a 40% increase. Europe slightly less, so 5% overall. So and Jet Aviation is doing more or less in line with these numbers. But there are a lot of activities going on. So we had a lot of different news in 2024, different innovation that we brought to market that we are very, very proud of. We got the FOCA approval, for example, for our pilotless drone, which works on AI to speed up the inspection of the aircraft. We have delivered one of the lightest and quietest completion ever that we have done, so less than 40 dB seal on certain area of the aircraft. We continue to expand our infrastructure in Basel to do even more completion and MRO activities. So there's quite a lot going on. So we have earned the PC24 as well. We have a service center in Dubai. So there's a lot of different innovation, a lot of different expansion going on in the different side of the region.
And is it too easy to say that you're seeing big completion interest? And does the interest in things like completion match the overall market? So you're seeing a lot of Middle Eastern completion interest, or is it spread out across your whole region?
No, it's overall it's widespread. So we see, of course, the Middle East being quite represented in the completion market, but not exclusively. So basically, where the wealth is over the world, so this is where you see completion coming from. So we cannot say this is exclusively from the Middle East. It's widespread. It's quite distributed.
And are any markets particularly exciting at the moment in your region?
So definitely the Middle East is very exciting. So as I said, so we saw a 40% increase compared to 2019, so which of course makes it very, very interesting. We see the infrastructure in the Middle East changing, particularly in Saudi Arabia. We celebrated 45 years in Saudi Arabia last year at Jet Aviation. So we have been in the country for quite some time, and we see the country changing. We see the country opening. We see the infrastructure being modernized. It's true as well for the certification environment. So it's a very, very exciting region. And of course, like there's a lot of opportunity in that space. And then we are very proud. We are very happy that we have contributed to that. And then we continue to support the Vision 2030 in the kingdom. But we should not forget Europe. We should not forget. There's still quite a huge amount of wealth in certain areas in Europe, and then we should not discount Europe. We should not forget Europe. I believe there is still a lot of opportunities in that space as well.
Are the opportunities mainly replacement aircraft, or are you still finding new buyers in Europe?
We see new buyers. I mean, like it's of course it's always you have a replacement market. We see new buyers coming. It's not as rapid, and the expansion is of course not so rapid and significant than in the Middle East. But there's still a huge base. There's still a lot of wealth, we should pay attention to this market for sure.
How many times did you go to Saudi last year?
Well, it's a good question. I believe at least 10, I believe. And each time I go there, I have the feeling that the country is changing. Each time I go, I have the feeling the country is opening, and it's a very, very interesting space, for sure.
I'm guessing that 5 years ago, Jeremy was not going, or was not going to Saudi as much, which is probably a sign. I remember talking to one of the aircraft manufacturer sales guys seem to be there all the time at the moment. But do you think it's a market for, are we going to see Saudi take off in 2025, or do you think it will be a few years' time?
So I believe Saudi has already taken off. We don't need to wait for 25 to see that. There's more than 120 aircraft in the country. I believe they have done 12,000 departures last year. When we look at, again, the pre-COVID time, in the Saudi, the activity is 50% plus or something. So it is going, it is ongoing, and it will keep going. So that's for sure. We'll see that dynamic continuing in 2025 and eventually accelerating. Yes.
So you've got an interesting job where you've got, you have a range of services. You've got MROs, you've got FBOs, you've got completion. Do your management customers want all of those? Does that give you an advantage over some of the other aircraft management companies we had earlier who focus just on aircraft management?
So yes, we are convinced that with the 50 locations that we have worldwide, and then as you said, so with the different activity that we run, so completion, MRO, FBO, aircraft management, so we have a very deep, it gives the company a very deep understanding of what a managed customer expects, and then we are very well positioned, to really understand what the customer wants, and interestingly enough, they all want something different. Each and every managed customers is looking for something different. Some want privacy, some want simplicity, some enjoy having only one person to talk to, only one point of contact, make them easy for them. Others prefer to have a different range of contact. So that really helps us to adapt, to be flexible, be it in geographically flexible, but as well in a different line of business. So that really helps us to personalize, to have that flexibility to really assemble what the customer wants ultimately. So and in that respect, yes, I believe that this integrated business model is definitely an advantage. So that really helps us to deeply understand and gain the trust of our client.
And one business you have that's unique is the staffing business for for a large aircraft management company. How hard is it for, which gives you a unique viewpoint, how hard is it to find pilots and engineers at the moment?
Well, so it's certain that with the flight activity, which is at the same level than pre-COVID or at the same level than COVID, with all these new platforms entering the market, so this very large cabin, very large aircraft, so that's for sure that the pilots at the moment, if you are a qualified pilot, you have a lot of choice, to find an employer. That's for certain. Nevertheless, we believe this is transient and it's going to level off as we go. But definitely, so recruiting, bringing new people to the industry is a challenge, and that's something that we really try to focus on at the moment quite extensively. So at Jet Aviation, we really try to get the broadest base possible when we look for new people to join the company. And then we invest a lot of energy in trying to make that recruitment as valuable, as interesting for all the candidates. Because even if they don't stay with us, so they'll have a nice experience, they are going to talk about Jet Aviation and share their experience in the market. So that really helps us to gain new candidates and be interested. So afterwards, there are others and other OEM in the industry that does very interesting things. For example, Pilatus have a very strong internship program that we are interested in. So that's something we'd like to replicate. And overall, I believe it's important for our industry to find a way to incorporate new talent and bring new new people, young people into the industry. We shall all understand that as an employer, potentially we have more to offer than just a salary. So if the culture of the company is strong, if there is an advancement opportunity, so we can really raise these young people through the system, and then one day they can occupy a management function in the industry. So, and I believe that's quite important that we keep renewing the people in the industry.
One of the things that jet aviation's been doing a lot, probably for the last 5 or more years, is sustainable aviation fuel. You make it available at the World Economic Forum a few weeks ago.
Yes.
What sort of customers are buying it?
So yeah, we are very, very, very proud of that we have invested early on in SAF. We believe it's important. It's important for our industry, so we need to do more as an industry, and it's important as well for the sustainability, for the future of our activity. We brought SAF to the World Economic Forum last month, but we have done so for the last 3-4 years. And then, so last month we sold all the SAF that we brought. So we brought physical SAF in Zurich. And we even had to replenish during the SAF because we see a pickup. And it's very, very different. Different type of customers, be it corporate, being private. So we see a mix. But what we see is that more and more, this is something interesting in the market. People notice, people pay attention. We are going to bring SAF to 5 new FBOs in the US, so to make a total of 12. We'll bring SAF as well to our headquarters in Basel for all the completion and the MRO flight test. So we see it takes time, but we see that slowly but surely, so the industry is incorporating SAF.
And do you think we've got the EU mandate coming in for SAF? Do you think that's going to? Do you think other operators are going to be using SAF more?
Yes, we are convinced that. I mean, we were at the forefront, but SAF will continue. SAF will expand. We see the airline industry now talking more, considering more SAF. The EU. So this is the government, the private sector. I mean, what is important for us is that business aviation don't stay put and follow the trend. And this trend will be here for a long time. So we believe in that, and then we believe it's going to gain momentum as we move forward.
Do you ever regret moving from the auto industry into the aviation industry? Do you ever regret? You look at the number of cars being sold. Do you have any regrets that you ever moved over to aviation?
No, absolutely not. No. So it was always my dream. So I enjoy what I'm doing, and it's amazing. It keeps renewing. There's a lot of innovation coming. We have a couple of innovation for 25 as well that we are very proud of. So it's constant renewal. So no, it's no regret at all.
And on that cheery note, thanks so much, Vincent.
Thank you.
Thank you.